Hey, Serena.
Hey Laurie, how are you? Hi, my name is Serena Hack, and I am a senior associate at CI Private Wealth. Look, I've been doing this since I was a child. I started at CI Private Wealth about 13 years ago, and I was lucky enough to meet my mentor and now business partner. Uh, and we really just connected on philanthropy and the idea of giving back. And we were able to put together a practice that really embodied that. You know, people like to think of finance as this kind of stale, cold industry, but it is all embedded with human behavior. And when you think about generosity, it is one of the most primal instincts that we have. And I feel like the philanthropic planning or the charitable giving is the reaction to people's natural generosity. And so the fact that we incorporate that is just proper financial planning.
Serena, what is the biggest tip that you would give people when it comes to planning out their charity? What is the biggest thing that people are missing?
Yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, we live in one of the most tax incentivized countries in the world. And there's so many advantages to being able to give through more than just cash. And so to be able to sit back and say, okay, there is the opportunity to give maybe $100 today, but if I can maybe do this through estate planning or giving through my will, it can be 1,000 times the impact. It doesn't have to be this large gift. It just has to be something that's strategically thought out, and working with your advisors that you have.
We were talking the other day, and you told me about this one little tip that I didn't know about, giving from your securities, from your stocks that have grown over time.
Yeah, so most people, they like to buy stock, a very, you know, we like to call a safe stock, something that you know is going to grow. So whether that be a Bell or Rogers or whatever you've been able to acquire, and if you had it for some period of time, there's going to be something that we call capital gains tax on that. If you decide to take advantage of that gain and take the money out of your account. But what people don't realize is that if you actually take that out, you're actually going to be taxed twice. So what giving through appreciated securities allows you to do is it allows you to give to the charity of your choice and get a tax receipt to be able to offset that income when it comes time to do so. Maybe I'll just tell you a story about this. Is that, you know, we had a client one time. You know, they had spent their whole life investing into their retirement and put money into their RSP, and they were really excited. They got that tax credit back and all of the things that happen when you invest in your RSP, but they got to the age of 71, which, as you know, it turns into a retired income fund, and you're actually required to take the money out, a specific portion every year. But what most people don't know, and what this client particularly didn't know, is that then they were subject to income taxes at that point. So they were taking the money out of this retirement income fund, and now they had to pay income tax on it. And they were kind of shocked by the amount of income tax they had to pay. So the way that we kind of alleviated some of that stress is that we said, hey, why don't you give a portion of that through in-kind securities to a charity of your choice, and that will help at income tax time. And they were really happy with that solution.
So I've also heard that this is even more beneficial when you make it part of an estate plan, when you include this strategy in your will, that it's more tax beneficial at the time that you die.
So what most people don't realize is at the time of death, they will incur the biggest tax bill of their life. And so what happens is that your entire estate is actually deemed as sold at that moment. But if you take a moment and do proper estate planning, we've been talking about securities, you can actually donate those securities in kind and leave that gift in your will. And so if that happens at the time of death, then you can actually offset your taxes to your estate, leaving more to the people that you care about and the causes that you want to leave an impact on.